Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Big Questions, Small Steps. My name is Amanda and I'm so glad that you could join me today. Today we are going to wrap up our series learning about the Jehovah Witnesses, and today we are talking about the conversion process. If you want to convert to Jehovah Witnesses, you're going to want to make sure to stay tuned to this video so you know what steps are next for you. If you're ready, let's hit the intro and we'll begin. So in our last video, we talked about what can go wrong essentially once you convert to being a Jehovah Witness. And it's just interesting for the procedures that they have in place for when things go wrong and how they are so much more elaborate and in-depth when it comes to what the stages are and the procedures are to convert to the Jehovah Witness practice. Certainly it still takes a long time, but whereas the shunning process had 6 different stages, the conversion really has 3. And so that was surprising just on a face value for me, but we'll get into it without further ado. So according to the Watchtower, or the Jehovah Witness publication, they very warmly encourage people to convert to Jehovah Witnesses. They believe that that is part of one of their duties as followers of Jehovah, that they should be spreading his good news, that they should be teaching other people about his amazingness and all the different things that he has to offer. And so they want to warmly welcome people and really engage them in different activities and customs so that they can be part of the community. However, if you are Jehovah Witness and you leave to learn about a different faith practice, or you participate in a different faith practice, or you attend a wedding at a different faith practice, that is a serious offense and very disrespectful to God, and that can have huge consequences. Basically, if you choose to leave, you'll be told that it's an unwise decision and that you, by choosing to leave, you are abandoning God. And that's a little bit like a fear tactic and a little bit of, it's a huge thing. Why would one want to disrespect God to that level? Like, that just seems eye-opening and would make certainly people want to double check and triple check and really, really think about it. But if you are looking at converting to being a Jehovah Witness, basically there are 3 stages, okay? So the first one, and they're pretty simple statements that they have, and I kind of feel like they're simplifying it a little bit too much. The first one is learn what the Bible teaches. So in Matthew 28, verses 19 and 20, Jesus says, and again, this is according to the New Word Testament, or the Jehovah Witness Bible. This is what it says. Go, therefore, and make disciples of people of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all the things that I have commanded you. And look, I am with you all the days until the conclusion of the system of things. Now, they say that disciple translates to learner. So that's why they always are learning and studying the Bible, because they believe there's always more things to learn. Now, as you're studying or learning the Bible, you're going to be meeting individually with the baptized preachers. Sorry, I had them flipped. Those baptized members that are coming door to door, they're going to schedule individual appointments with you so you can learn more. You're going to start going to worship services. At a certain point, you'll be invited to participate in that. You'll meet with the elders and you'll continue to learn from that. You'll be invited eventually to participate in small group Bible studies. learning more and more from yourself, from those that you're learning from, your teachers, and then learning more from the members within the Jehovah Witnesses as well. And then number 2, you're going to put what you've learned into practice. Again, seems kind of oversimplified, doesn't it? But basically, after requesting those home Bible studies, they are looking for a change in the way you think, in the way you're acting, your behavior. Have you, if you were a lawyer, have you given that up? Have you changed what you are doing to live more in according or in alignment with what the Jehovah Witnesses practice, preach, and believe? Okay, and this is coming from the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 24. It says, "Then Jesus said to his disciples, 'If anyone wants to come after me, let him disown himself and pick up his torture stake and follow me.'" So again, because they do not associate with people who are outside of their religion, if you are, say, changing from Catholicism to Jehovah Witness, you have to be very specific in how you relate to the family that you once had in Catholicism. You don't have to disown your family or anything like that because they're not part of Jehovah Witnesses, but you would be very specific in what you engage in and how you interact with them. You wouldn't attend weddings where there was alcohol because you would be in the presence of people who had perhaps drunkenness, and that's something that they would strictly discourage. So they're going to watch to see that your actions are following suit with what you have learned. And then the third step, so you're going to learn the Bible, then your actions are going to follow suit. And then the third one is you're going to get baptized. So after meeting for Bible study, after being invited to attend services for a while, and you're attending those regularly, you should be confident enough in what you've learned to eventually approach an elder. When you approach them, you need to ask them if they feel you are ready to be baptized. Okay? If they think about it, they discuss with other elders, they talk with other worship members, and they think that you are qualified, you would be baptized at an assembly meeting. Their baptisms are full submersion baptisms, and they're typically done in a natural body of water. Typically. Not always, depending on where you live geographically, but typically. They compare baptism to burial. So the old you has died when you go down. The new year rises and is reborn when you come back up. And this comes from 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 1 through 3, that says, "Therefore, as a fellow elder, a witness of the suffering of Jesus Christ, and a sharer of the glory that is to be revealed, I make this appeal to the elders among you. Shepherd the flock of God under your care, serving as overseers, not under compulsion, but willingly before God, not for love of dishonest guilt, but eagerly, not lording it over others who are God's inheritance, but becoming examples to the flock." So basically, once you've learned, once you've put into action, then you would be baptized. Again, it's typically during an assembly, which would be a couple of different congregations joining together to have this experience. Typically, one of the overseers, the traveling substitute teacher people, they would be there to help with the baptisms. It would typically not just be a one-person thing, which is why different congregations come together and schedule it like that. It can be a very long process to convert to Jehovah Witnesses because they need to kind of verify you and really test to see if this is something you're really interested in. So very, very interesting indeed, this whole process. But now we know. I know I've learned so much more about the Jehovah Witnesses, and I hope you have too. If you enjoyed today's presentation, I really hope you give it a like and then hit subscribe, because the next time we get together, we're going to be learning about a brand new religion. And that religion is The Pentecostals. Yep, that's right. The ones that speak in tongues and they handle snakes and they drink poison at times. We're going to be learning about that denomination next, the Pentecostals, and you won't want to miss it. Until then, I hope you take care, and remember, the more you know, the more you grow. So keep on learning. Bye-bye.